Welcome to episode 505 of the Recruitment Marketing and Sales Podcast. And I'm your host, Denise. And today I wanted to address a question that comes up a lot, particularly in marketing circles, and some of our clients are asking us more about it. And it really is, what is the content mix that actually works? And that is founded in the question about what is short form content and what's long form content. We hear about it consistently from clients, from people that jump onto sales calls and people that email us. And some people are convinced or hopefully convinced that shorter content, I'm going to give you some examples in this week's podcast, is all they need to do. A few LinkedIn posts, occasional quick video, that's marketing all sorted. Others know that producing something more substantial is something that they really should be doing, but they never quite get around to it. And the truth is, you need both, particularly in today's market, and especially if you want to differentiate yourself. They do completely different jobs. So that is the topic of today's podcast, and let's get into it. Welcome to the Recruitment Marketing and Sales Podcast. An obsessive focus on marketing and sales is the only way to accelerate your company growth. So listen in now as we share the latest strategies and techniques guaranteed to deliver you more placements and profits. Well, hi there everyone. Hope you and yours are well. I'm going to jump into short form and long form content in a second, share what it is, give you some examples and sort of clarify the job that each one does and where email fits in as well. And content is a huge part of your marketing because it's about, particularly for smaller businesses, it's where you can compete, you can elevate your brand, it makes a huge difference for you. And things have changed. And one of the challenges is that a lot of small recruitment companies are doing the same thing they were literally a year or two ago, posting occasionally, hoping referrals come in, and the market has changed. So we've spent a lot of time, Sharon and I, researching what's actually working now, what the trends are for smaller recruitment businesses. And by that, I mean solos to micro. Not generic, it's real world strategies. We put it into a report. If you've been on our email list for any length of time, you've probably got a URL where you can just click it and it will download automatically. If you are one of our subscribers, just go, if you've not deleted them all, just go back through some of the emails and in one of the titles, it'll have PDF in brackets. If you're new here, welcome and great that you're here. And if you go to superfastrecruitment.co.uk /MTRS, if you just imagine marketing trends with an S, MTRS, click that link, pop your name and email address in, and it will be winging its way to you. Now, this combination of short and long form content is where everything is heading. And before we look at the different formats, here's why it matters for our world particularly. Most of the businesses we speak to, whether that's search businesses, recruiters, staffing, temp and perm people, they tend to fall into two camps. The first camp posts, and I say this with love, scrappy content when they remember, potentially when they've listened to a podcast of mine and they think, I need to just update something and post. So the really sort of inconsistent updates that don't build authority because they get no traction. And they show up. And ironically, I've just been we're launching our new Catalyst program in the next few weeks. And I've been recording some training around this and around how to stand out in the market, because it is about making sure that you are more memorable now than you've ever been. And so that's one type of person, that's one type of recruiter. The second camp goes the other way. They sit down and they write the perfect blog. And they're good, they use AI, but they still really spend too much time on it, and or alternative, they don't edit it and they never finish it because they're not sure about it, and they end up posting nothing at all. So unfortunately, both camps end up in the same place, and that is, I hate to use this word, but they're invisible because they're not visible at all. And yet the businesses that win attention from clients and candidates do something different. They use short form content to stay visible, and they use their long form content to build authority. And you can work with the two, which I'm going to share. The two formats feed each other. Have you ever, maybe it's just me, it's not, because I speak to lots of recruiters that do the same. You'll see a reel on, I don't know, Insta or somewhere like that, and you'll start watching it, and then you'll click through to that person's YouTube channel. And then before you know where you are, 2 hours later, you've guzzled 2 or 3 of their pieces of content. And that's how they work together. Together, they create what we call a marketing system rather than a series of sort of random one-off acts of marketing. So let's start with, logically, short form content. What is it and what it does? So short form content is anything someone can consume in, like, I'm going to say under 3 minutes, because the very holy YouTube tweaked things, I think it was last year, where you can actually now post 3-minute short form videos. Generally, they're very quick to make, they're quick to read and watch, and they are designed that people are willing to just maybe stop and listen to video. They grab attention in the busy feed. And short form content could be, let me give you some examples. A LinkedIn post under 150 words, a short video under a minute. The kind as reels. I mean, I am stalked because obviously once, particularly on Facebook, once somebody sees you, and on LinkedIn actually, they see that you like something, then you literally get spammed with it. So I invariably, most of mine are around dogs. And then of course you've got like LinkedIn video clips, you've got shorts on YouTube, got polls and questions. You've got stories on Insta, maybe a quick post sharing market insight, short, very short re-engagement or nurture emails. So those are the types of short form content that you are probably experiencing. And the job that it does is awareness. It's about being seen, about being present, it's being top of mind. So, if you think about how maybe your ideal client uses LinkedIn, they're going to scroll for a few minutes between meetings. They're not looking for an absolute thesis on talent attraction. They're looking for something that catches their eye, makes them think, or makes some sort of nod in agreement. And that's the job of short form. In fact, it does 4 specific jobs. First of all, it builds frequency. So it enables you to show up in the feed in front of your potential lovely new recruiting client anywhere between 3 and 5 times a week, depending on what markets you work in. If you're on Insta, then you can post every single day. You can post multiple times a day. It doesn't really work anymore on LinkedIn, but that's going to keep you visible. And it's about like consistency here, beating perfection every time. And secondly, it feeds the algorithm. So LinkedIn, Instagram, they do reward regular activity. LinkedIn likes to see you posting now up to 4 and 5 times a week rather than 4 or 5 times a day, but it likes to see you posting regularly. The more often you post, the wider your reach goes. Thirdly, it can spark a conversation. So often you'll find a good short post will invite comments, maybe shares, maybe a message. And obviously the comments, the shares, the likes, the DMs, that's where relationships start. And fourth, it's a great way to test ideas. A short post is a quick way to see what's resonating. And if you've not done this, you go onto your LinkedIn, go around the back of your profile and have a look at what you've posted and see what's performed well. You just go and you can search on 7 days and you search on 365 days. Go and look and see what's resonated the most. Now, I appreciate that sometimes it depends on the time of day that you're posting, but go and have a look and see what's resonating, because that is a really good source of what's important for your market. And here's something else about that's worth considering. Now, if a topic gets some traction and you've used like 100 words or it's a 60-second video, it's potentially worth turning into something bigger. A good example for a recruitment business, a quick LinkedIn post sharing a client, obviously you don't need to mention the client, conversation from the week with a small lesson that's attached, a couple of short paragraphs, question at the end, and you're done. Total writing time, maybe 10 minutes. And you could put your ideas into an AI tool if you want to. Just make sure that, as I say, you edit it, because it's a story, and that's where AI falls dreadfully short. There's no stories. So that's your short form content and what it's doing for you. Now, long form content, what is it and what does it do? Is obviously, it's anything that takes more than 3 minutes to consume. It's substantial. It's structured. It's designed to demonstrate your knowledge and expertise. And examples of this that work incredibly well still are blog articles. It's one of the reasons that we still create blog content for our recruitment clients, because we were talking to a client today whose website is ranking incredibly well because she's got it full of content. And articles anywhere between 1,000, 2,000 words. LinkedIn newsletters. We've got a newsletter called the Small Agency Edge. If you haven't subscribed to it, please do. There's some real great, it's different from the content on the podcast, really focused, really short, really practical. And if you go to my profile and just go to the Small Agency Edge, you'll see where it says newsletters, and then just click subscribe and you'll get a notification. And there's loads of back issues there that you can watch. It arrives every Tuesday morning at 9. Email newsletters. They're an example of long form content. Some people prefer to send a longer newsletter. You're sending it to your database, and you are listening to long form content now. I'm just looking at my timer here. I'm at 12 minutes already. Probably by the time I've finished this particular podcast, it might be close to 20 minutes. And this podcast is long form content that, of course, hint, hint, I can turn into short form content later on afterwards. YouTube videos and webinars over 10 minutes long, they are classed as longer form content. So depending on how confident you feel on video, a hint, all of the webinars that we run, normally at the end of the year, we go and pop them all onto YouTube. So if you've not gone to our Superfast Recruitment YouTube channel, head over there and you'll find several webinars that you can consume. Market intelligence reports. Earlier, I did a shout out for our market intelligence report, which is on marketing trends for 2026 in the recruitment sector. Just go to superfastrecruitment.co.uk/MTRS, and then obviously you can download that and have a good look and read. Case studies, client success stories, they tend to take a little bit longer than a couple of minutes. Expert reports, people call them lead magnets because they generate leads. Books and guides. And I'm going to actually call LinkedIn Carousel, I'm going to call that longer form content. Because some people with a LinkedIn carousel, it can take definitely over 3 minutes to read them, because particularly if you're wanting to do ones that are like maybe 9 or 10 sort of slides long. Again, this is something that we provide for our clients. Quick pause from me before we get back into it. This podcast, as you probably worked out, has no sponsors, has no ads. Nobody pays us to record these episodes. And Sharon and I make it because we love this industry and we want to give something useful back to the people running small recruitment businesses. If you're getting value from this, here's the only thing I'll ask. Connect with me on LinkedIn. search Denise Oyston, that's Oyston with an O, hit connect, and drop me a quick note and say you found me through the podcast. I read every single message and I reply personally. There's no funnel, there's no pitch, just a chance to say hello and stay in touch. So right, let's get back to that conversation. What's the job of long form? It's about authority, it's about trust, it's about really differentiating yourself as somebody to consider working with. There's one thing recognizing your name, and there's another thing with thinking, well, I know this person knows their stuff, I think we should be working with them. And again, similarly to short form, it does for specific jobs on its own. It builds depth. So a marketing trends report shows you understand your industry far better than a clever, cynical post could. It just demonstrates you've done your thinking. And secondly, this trust actually builds over time. So somebody might scroll past your LinkedIn post for months, then download your report and read every page. And then the next thing is they're on your website. And for us, what often can happen is they then go to our podcast, either on Spotify or Apple, and they're reading everything. That's the moment they go from a passive observer to more of an engaged potential prospect. And third, it generates leads. Long form content generally, unless obviously you're looking at YouTube, slightly different, but it can sit behind an opt-in form and it captures email addresses that you can feed into your CRM. Form doesn't do that. So like I mentioned earlier, all of our webinars, people opt in for. So we know who's watched this particular webinar, say on email marketing, we know they've got an interest. And so we know that's a conversation we can have with them. And eventually we will put them all onto YouTube. And fourth, it supports search. Now, thinking about your long form content, you've got to optimize it for AI now, because obviously the first thing that pops up is what AI thinks, and AI wants to help us. But your blogs and articles can still get found through Google search, and they can get found through AI, and you could be recommended. So that's the difference. People searching for, let's just say, engineering recruitment trends for this year, or how to attract passive candidates in legal, that they could land on your site months or even years after you've written the piece. So a great example for recruitment businesses, an annual market report for your sector. And these are much easier to create now than they ever used to be. We've seen clients turn a report into conversations, calls, placements even, one piece of content. It's used over and over again on different channels. And one question we're asked a lot is, where do emails fit in? Are they short or long form content? And people know my view on this. I'm sure everyone should be doing email marketing. It is still producing the highest ROI of any platform. But the honest answer about short or long form is it depends on the type. Most marketing emails are short form, quick re-engagement message. People now tend to want much shorter emails. You probably notice the emails you get from us. Generally, it's rare you would get an email from us that's over 250 words. It's a re-engagement message. Ours often, we'll send emails during the week. It'll be a top tip or a bit of advice. And then generally every Friday you will get an email from us with a link that sends you to a blog where you've got long form. So you've got a little bit of short form content that sends you to long form. And are you interested in every single email that we send out? Possibly not, but you know that they're there when you are. And so that's why there's a whole range of different pieces of content that we'd send you to. And these are designed to be scanned in seconds, not read like an article. And that sits at the short form end. Email newsletters are different. go deeper. We've got a newsletter on LinkedIn, Small Agency Edge, shameless shout out for ourselves there. And that fits in the long form category for that reason, because there's deep thinking goes into them and there's lots of practical ideas and people read them and they're going through things and subscribers come back. We have one of the highest open rates. So that's something that can be achieved with an email newsletter. So when you're planning email content, ask yourself, what job's it doing? What job is this doing? Is it a bit of quick action, visibility, that's short form, or do I want some authority and depth? That's long form, sorry. Both have a place in your marketing system. So how can you combine them into a system? This is where get a little bit more practical. A lot of businesses do get it wrong. The mistake is treating short form and long form as separate jobs. They're not. The two parts of a system. Here's how the system works. You've got a piece of long form content. Obviously, as part of Superfast Circle, we provide all of the things that our clients need. But just thinking about if you are Mr. or Miss Recruiter on your own and you can only write one piece of long form content a month, then pick whichever format fits your strength. It might be a blog, podcast, market report, probably not a webinar, but some people do like doing webinars. If you're confident on camera, I would really suggest that you lean into video. If you write well, lean into the written word. If you love a conversation, podcasts are great. And the next is really is step 2, and you can create it into short form content. The trendy word, I'm going to use it because I'm a marketer and I like to be trendy, is atomize it, and you put it into short form content. This is where AI can help you slice and dice it. So just to give you an example, one decent 1,500 word blog could probably become anywhere between 5 and 10 LinkedIn posts, 2 or 3 videos, poll, short email to your database, and a few simple quotes on graphics on Canva. And this is something that we do for clients, but obviously, you can do this yourself. And that's one of the benefits of AI. Just make sure that the content is good before you're asking AI to slice it and dice it. And step 3, use short form to drive to long form. So every short post or video should point somewhere, because obviously the long form is where your expertise shouts out. That's where conversion starts to happen. Obviously, your short form is where the attention happens. We did this at the start with our marketing trends report, one report, researched once. It's been feeding our LinkedIn posts. And it gave me the idea to actually create this post and this podcast around short and long form content, because that's in part of the marketing trends report. And when you are a busy business owner, and recruiters are so busy, this is one of the most efficient ways that you can market yourself. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, where do I even start? Here's an idea for you. Decide on one long form piece of content. Obviously, you will be accessing this in May. May's a great time if you're on our email list. I posted about this recently. It's a great time to start building your pipeline. So create a piece of content. Just one. Don't try to do everything once. Second, block some time. A couple of hours work is usually enough for a solid blog or podcast episode. And then plan 5 or 6 short form pieces from it you can publish. Write them at the same time while your thinking is fresh. And I would suggest you do that at the same time. So if you've used some AI to help you and it's edited down, then look at what it produces. Do a bit of quick tweaking. And obviously, whilst you're there, your mind is in the frame of that piece of content. So you'll find it much easier and faster to do it then than actually to go back and do it. So, and remember, consistency beats perfection every time. I think that needs to go out as a quote on the socials. So just in closing then, short form, long form content, they're not competing. Remember, they're complementary. Short form gets you seen, long form gets you trusted, and together they create the kind of visibility that turns into real client and candidate examples. So if you've not downloaded our trends report, go and have a look at it, superfastrecruitment.co.uk/MTRS. That's it for today. Hope you found it useful. And if you've got a question you'd like me to cover in a future episode, or we're not connected on LinkedIn, go to Denise Oyston, just put a request in to connect and drop me a message and say, I've been thinking about this, could you record a podcast on it? And I will do that for you. So this is Denise saying bye for now, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoy this podcast and this year you are ready to take your marketing to the next level, then check out Superfast Circle. This is a unique marketing program designed specifically for recruiters and their marketeers. You get access to 2 virtual marketing directors, you get consultancy, you get your hand held through the whole process, training, consulting, and we provide content resources. So go over to superfastrecruitment.co.uk/join and check out what's available.